a lot of stuff has happened in like the past 2 weeks. And oh my god, I want to talk about all of it. But for right now, we are sticking to Godzilla x Kong Supernova, the next Monsterverse film coming down the line. Is it SpaceGodzilla? A lot of people think it's going to be SpaceGodzilla, the next big antagonist in the Monsterverse. And you know what? I just want to say, a lot of people think it's going to be SpaceGodzilla. A lot of people think it's going to be Gigan. A lot of people think it's going to be another Toho monster that they're bringing back. And you know what? It's not a stretch to think that the movie called Supernova, with the logo that has a spacey background on it, and you know, we recently talked about some actor's post about the movie being a star next to a dinosaur emoji, meaning Godzilla, I assume. So I don't know, that could be interpreted as Space Godzilla, right? It's like there's a lot of things pointing towards the possibility of them doing Space Godzilla, who is, of course, you know, famously from space. Some people also think it could be Gigan though, and I think that there is also a good case for Gigan too. Gigan has been featured in at least 2 works of concept art for Godzilla King of the Monsters and Monarch G-Team. So he's been featured in concept art for Monsterverse before, so I really don't think it's that big of a stretch to say, oh, hey, maybe he's going to be in the movie this time. Maybe they finally managed to get him in. You know, maybe they've had him in mind for a while now, and they've only just now gotten to it, right? Some people also say that the that little thing, that little light inside the R, is a light from Gigan's singular eye, which I think is kind of a stretch, but you know, it's, oh well, whatever. Legendary is also clearly being a bit secretive about who the main antagonist is right now. The first teaser that we got for Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, featured Scar King, the main villain, right away. He was the first thing we saw, guys. And now they don't feature or even, like, reference the main villain at all in this teaser. I mean, that's a little interesting. I don't think it's proof of anything, but it's interesting. It's something to think about. Overall, there is a compelling theory about all this. There is compelling evidence. Well, not evidence, but there is compelling stuff to think about here. We have reason to believe that they could be going for Space Godzilla or even Gigan. One of those two, who knows? But you know what? You want to hear my thoughts on this? You want to hear my opinion? I'm a little bit disappointed if they do that. I don't want another Toho kaiju right now. If we needed another kaiju villain, I would have wanted a Monsterverse original kaiju villain. I don't really want the Monsterverse to do too much with Toho kaiju. I used to want that. I used to want them to do more Toho kaiju stuff, but I don't know. Over the years, I've kind of started preferring when they do original stuff. I liked what they did with Rodan and Mothra and Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla, but like, I think we can stop there for now. Maybe later down the line we can use another Toho kaiju, especially considering the last 2 Monsterverse original kaiju that we just got weren't really all that great in my opinion. Scar King, while he was cool for a bit, and while he's fun to watch, he wasn't really a good villain, in my opinion. If you want to know more about that, then check out my video right here about why he's not a good villain. And Shimo was kind of dealt a bad hand. She was underutilized and just was only really there to be competition for Godzilla. She didn't really do anything else aside from that. See, what I really wanted was Godzilla versus humanity. That's what I wanted. I wanted the Titans versus humans, because we have had, since the San Francisco attacks of 2014, I mean, Kong Skull Island, we just realized, oh, okay, monsters exist, but it was more suppressed, right? Until 2014, when Titans became mainstream, if you will, and Godzilla attacked San Francisco, and the world changed forever. And then the governments of the world realized, oh, shit, there are giant monsters that are almost impenetrable to all of our weapons and attacks that we can throw at them. We probably should do something about this. And then in King of the Monsters, you of course have Monarch struggling to keep the government from just taking over and trying to kill all the Titans. And then in King of the Monsters, Ghidorah does like 10 times more than what Godzilla did in San Francisco. A world-ending threat right there. Massive, in-your-face, world-ending threat. The Mutos were more of a, oh, if they live and reproduce, then they'll end the world, you know, eventually. Ghidorah was an immediate, right now, oh my god, holy shit, the world is ending kind of threat. That was bad. That's bad. And in the very next movie, we don't hear a single damn thing about that. We forget all about that. The government doesn't care, seemingly. Monarch is still in control, you know? It's like, are we not gonna do anything about that? About the big world-ending threat on our doorstep? I was kind of hoping, because Adam Wingert's direction had no interest in following up on any of that, I was kind of hoping that Grant Sputor, I was kind of hoping that his new direction would focus a bit more on how the world reacts to all of these horrible things, and how the government's like, okay, we're done, that's enough, we're taking control, these Titans have caused too much trouble, we just lost like thousands of people in Rio, a big portal opened up underneath a city, and 5 giant monsters came out of it and killed, God, thousands probably of people. I mean, what the hell? Hollow Earth is such a danger. It is a portal could open up anywhere, at any time, randomly, and some mysterious giant monster could just appear and kill people. And that's not like a problem. That's not something that we need to address. Humanity should be handling this whole situation a whole lot differently, in my opinion. So, of course, though, this is just a teaser. We don't know if it's actually going to be SpaceGodzilla or Gigan, so I'm not going to make any final judgments just yet. But from the way it looks, it does look like it will probably be SpaceGodzilla or Gigan or some Toho monster. I feel it. But if it isn't, of course, I will be pleased, and I'm looking forward to when an actual trailer comes out and we get to see what's actually going on. I really hope. I know everybody's all like, oh my god, SpaceGodzilla, you're Gigan, oh, I love SpaceGodzilla. Yeah, you know, Gigan's cool, SpaceGodzilla looks cool, but it's like, I feel like story-wise, that would be the worst possible choice right now. I just feel like the Monsterverse needs to focus on humanity struggling to fight against this Titan threat, which is a massive threat. The government's forcing Monarch to realize that we can't just focus on Godzilla and Kong and hope that they save us every time something goes wrong, because in Godzilla vs. Kong, Apex had the right idea, but they were portrayed as this stupid, you know, evil organization. All they were doing was just building a giant mecha Godzilla to help fight against the Titan threat, because you can't rely on Godzilla and Kong. They have their own minds. They have minds of their own. They have their own goals. You know, you can't trust them entirely, at least not the way that humanity is right now. Humanity has no real relationship with Godzilla. They can't trust him right now. But I think it would be cool if humanity fought back against Kong and Godzilla and all the Titans, and they maybe killed a bunch of Titans, and they pissed Godzilla off, right? And Godzilla and Kong have to fight against humanity for a little bit, but then eventually maybe some other threat arises, and humanity and Godzilla and Kong and whatever have to kind of work together, and they somehow rekindle their ancient relationship, and humanity can learn how to work with Godzilla again like they did in ancient times. And then over the course of like the next few movies, maybe they can grow a closer and closer bond, and maybe more trust can grow between humanity and Godzilla and Kong, right? I'm thinking like, you can do something here. So I really hope it's not just SpaceGodzilla. I hope this isn't just another Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. I hope that this is something better. The Monsterverse deserves better. It deserves a lot better than that right now, in my opinion. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Do you want SpaceGodzilla to show up? Do you want Gigan to show up? Do you want to like and subscribe? I know I want you to. You should like and subscribe, because I'm really smart and I have good takes and opinions. So go ahead and do that. Like, subscribe, share, press the notification bell, comment, tell me how smart and great and cool I am, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.